The gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Olson, for 5 minutes.
I thank my friend from Chicago. Excuse me. Welcome to our 6 expert witnesses. I gotta tell you, I'm stunned. That's been decades since America has made a commitment to real new nuclear power. We should be ashamed of that. Why? Because nuclear power is CO2 emissions free. In fact, in the 100 minutes I've been sitting here, I've exhaled a lot of CO2, much more than one plant does in 100 years. It's baseload power. It's ready. It's reliable. And it's safe. Hurricane Harvey proved its safety. We have 2 nuclear power plants in Texas, one up there at Comanche Pass and one there in Bay City, close to my home. The South Texas plant. That plant had the worst part of the Hurricane Harvey hit it. The northeast quadrant is where the storm surge is, the winds are, the rain. Not one blip in the containment room, anything from that power plant. So again, it's safe. And as you know, Mr. Lebec, we have lost 2 nuclear-powered submarines in our history. We lost the Thresher in 1963 and the Scorpion in 1968. These boats were designed to scram the reactor if they had catastrophic destruction like those subs endured. We've checked out those boats. We know where they sank. It's been almost 70 years now. There has not been one blip of nuclear power from those 2 reactors. They worked as designed in the ultimate crisis for a naval vessel. So my point is, this is very safe technology as well. And also, new nuclear means lots of good, high-paying jobs. And I want to talk to you about that, Mr. Hopkins. As you probably know, that Fluor is the first Fortune 500 back in my hometown of Sugar Land, Texas. We love Fluor. We're happy that they're a big partner with these SMR reactors. In your testimony, you talked about around 1,200 new jobs construction per plant. That means heavy equipment operators, welders, electricians, pipe fitters, plumbers, all across the spectrum to build a new power generator, SMR. And Fluor, as you know, has made an MOU with the North American Building Trades Union for construction of your nuclear power, your new scale plants here in America. Another example, Wharton County Junior College back home has built a campus in Bay City, Texas, right by the South Texas plant to retrain the reactor technicians who are fleeing because they've hit their limit, their ages. Can you elaborate on these jobs to be created with the new scale, the SMR power, the nuclear power grids, the little how much jobs created, and how this can affect disaster recovery, because these things can set up quickly and be running full time in a very short space on the ground as well. You, Mr. Hopkins?
Sorry, sir. I thought you asked referring to Mr. Bearwell. The advanced reactors we're talking about here today are, as you mentioned, 3 critical components: extraordinarily safe, they got to be economic, and they're carbon free. And from a jobs perspective, we're seeing the dynamics in this company change currently, in that the Utah Associated Municipal Power represents power facilities in 8 western states have elected to go with a small modular reactor at their first site. And for the job component, as you mentioned, we have a very good relationship with labor. And we need pipe fitters, we need carpenters. And for our first plant, we're normally looking at about 1,000 of these jobs. And as you build them, what we're seeing also, 7 states now are going forward with clean energy initiatives. And what we're seeing is in the UAMP situation, what we're doing, they're looking at 700 megawatts of coal replacement. Now, the coal is not going away for economics. It's their particular facilities. The economics don't currently support it, or they've exhausted the resource. So they have elected to go with small modular reactors, which is us. And if you look at the potential for jobs in this country, we've just completed analysis from a 300 to 600 coal facility, as an example, or an aged fossil plant. We can go in and utilize advanced reactors in that existing community to create and cross-train those people working in the advanced reactor community. And it's not that we need 4-year degreed engineers. What we need is associate's degrees, vocational degrees, and military back experience. So we've been working with our customer base to get the data to help appreciate how many of those jobs can we in fact in those communities cross-train. And it's quite amazing. The other thing we're seeing here in terms of manufacturing capacity, we have 7 forgings required for the NuScale module. When we started this, there was nobody in this country that could do those forgings for us. Now there's 2 companies that can do it in this country, and the reason being they saw market certainty going forward and a sustained capacity for suppliers to get involved in this process. And so it's going to continue to build. So it's high-paying jobs, as we mentioned, $85,000 per average, and our ability to go into these communities, in small rural communities that need these jobs, where they're going to be there.
Thank you. I'm out of time. One question for you to close, Mr. Levesque. You were a
Gentleman's
sub-driver and
time.
sub-builder. I'm a sub-hunter.
Gentleman's time is expired.
What does 31 to 7 mean to you, my
The
friend?
chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. McNerney, for 5 minutes.
I thank the chairman, and I look forward to working with Mr. Duncan on nuclear waste issues.